Welcome to the You Heard podcast with your hosts, Ben, Joe, and CP. We're here to cover everything related to Miami Hurricanes football, from hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about it.
No, let's talk about that right now because you completely flipped it on me now.
I hate him for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I don't appreciate.
What did you say? What are we talking about, son?
Get into it. I felt
Keeping it a buck.
You heard?
You see it. You see it. What's the deal, fam? How you doing, brother? How you feeling? How's your weekend going? How was your nap? You know what I'm saying?
Fresh off a lovely nap, man. You know what I mean? I got people in town, some friends in town, man. So we've been entertaining all weekend, so tired.
It's tiring. Yeah, that's tiring, son. That's tiring.
Yes,
You know
it is.
Got
Man.
26 in the building, man. Shout out to AO. Shout out to C Smooth. Shout out to Overdose. Shout out to Jay Singh in the building, man. Look, man. First of all, you didn't even ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing well, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad,
Tell them how you doing.
I'm glad you're entertaining, you know what I'm saying, friends and family that are in town. That's always something.
I'm glad you can wear white shirts too.
Oh, son, you see it?
With no problem, with no prejudice, no nothing. Yes.
Nothing, no hate, no bigotry, nothing, yo. Mine, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand how it works, but it is what it is. Same camera. You know what I'm saying? Let them cook. Available at youheardpodcast.com. Yo, man, look, you were asking me why are we calling this episode The Case Against Expectations, right? Now, the one I keep saying on the show, the expectations that we have and the way we're going to judge the team, right? You already see C Smooth saying 11-1. You know what I'm saying? That he's jumping in with I'm jumping in right away with my expectations.
Drinker.
Yeah, he's ready. So we're gonna approach this in a mature and immature way. You know what I'm saying? We'll approach this as unbiased as possible. Then we're gonna talk some ish too. You know what I mean? Trying to lessen the amount of cursing that I'm having on the show. So how do you approach expectations going into this year? And with all the, you know what I'm saying, like all the content creators doing their thing, you know what I'm saying, not just trying to get clicks because it's what we do. You need the views. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to hate somebody on that. But how do you approach expectations going into year 2/3 of Mario? Because year 1 was really year 0.
Definitely year 2 for me. You know what I mean? And everybody has their opinions. Everybody has their thoughts. Everybody has their views. I definitely start with forgetting about last year. That's my number one thing. I take each year as an individual season, not what happened previously. So that's number one, because in college football, rosters are different every single year, and mostly drastically different. You know what I mean? So if you look at our roster is drastically different from last year.
Yep.
So, and it has the potential to be more different than it is now, currently, today. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the first thing. And then understanding that things can happen week to week. You know what I mean? Last year, we were fortunate enough to have our old line healthy the whole year. That could change this year. You know what I mean? Knock on wood. You know what I mean? But that could change. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Injuries, depth, you know what I mean? So just understanding, man, that things change. Like things happen on a daily, on a weekly basis. Opponents change. Yeah, opponents change. You know what I mean? The schedule, everybody says is an easy schedule, but it could be. Sure, it could be an easy schedule. It could be not, and we'll break down that schedule in depth. We'll break that down closer to the season. But yeah, man, it could be an easy schedule. It could be not. You know, So
yeah, how we approached it, we did like a quick superficial breakdown when we first got the schedule. That wasn't counting the spring portal. That wasn't counting spring game. That wasn't counting a player like Kyle McCord going to Syracuse that we have to face at the end of the year on that random Friday game after Thanksgiving. That's always the up north. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be in a dome, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, like it's just it's rare to go into a season where like I'm really trying to just take it as a season. You know what I mean? Like you can't, because you can't grade stuff anymore as like who we were last year. Players have left, players are portaled out, players on rival teams, players, you know what I'm saying, players, and we brought in players. So the O line for the most part is going to be two new players at positions, right? Center and left guard. Unless you move, you know what I'm saying? What we mentioned, unless you move a Jalen Rivers inside and put that monster of Markel Bell on you know what I'm saying, left tackle, and towards the end of the year, maybe not game one at Florida, you know what I mean? Because it will be his first, you know what I'm saying, P5 experience, but I could see that happen. You never know. You never know what the monsters.
Let's get it, son.
Yeah, you got to get it right away.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's just the expectations coming off how Cam Ward performed in the spring game, which we'll get into that, especially after watching. I refuse to watch like entire games of other teams, but I watched like the highlights. So it'll be like when those teams look quote unquote the best. So shout out to all the people who are cutting those up. But it's hard to judge it because we'll probably be getting another receiver here in the portal, one of two. It looks like going after Elijah Badger from Arizona State, which is a problem. Shout out to fantasy football, you know what I'm saying? My guy, Javon. You got Elijah Badger. You're gonna have Sam Brown that has been working out with Cam Ward, done all in on recruiting. It's like, yo, I don't have to post nothing to my IG like the Sanders brothers did. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just gonna go to your crib. Like, what's popping?
I'm gonna pull up.
So yeah, I'm gonna pull up. Yo, let's go practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's that type of stuff has me Kool-Aid-ish, right? Like Kool-Aid adjacent, right? Like, because it's like you see the difference of like, and why I went off last year so many times. Like, you see the difference, the importance of a leader in that position, right? Because he's the unquestioned leader. So he starts making me have expectation, but it's like last year I gotta leave last year alone. Close losses, only one loss for more than 15 points to the North Carolina game. So you start taking those steps, but we want to get to like 11-1, 12-0. You know what I'm saying? Are we there yet? So it's just, and you see the graphics. I don't know, man. Like it's a lot of stuff. Like, because there's so many of us that do content, and I see the thumbnails. I watch some of the shows. It's just like, fam, like, what are we? You know what I mean? Because like you watch some people, we're 7-5. You watch some other people, 11-1, 10-2 is the floor, 9-3 at worst. I was like, but we don't even know what the roster is going to look like, because 6 or 7 more guys might leave, and then what? How does that differentiate what we might become? So that's wild.
But you look at the commentator or the media and the people who watch. So their job is to watch football, right? They watch every game. They watch football all the time. Josh Pate, Kirk Herbstreit, all those guys, man. And of course they're not fully engulfed in the program like we are. You know what I mean? But they do get an inside look at maybe some things that we don't get a look at. But
Josh Pate sees a lot. Josh Pate sees film with Shannon Dawson type shit. Yeah.
Facts. They're looking at the roster, they're looking at the talent, and they're looking at it as opposed to the rest of the ACC. Like, they're looking at all the ACC rosters, including ours, and they're like, yo, there's no way Miami should not win 10, 11 games. I'm like, there's no way. And I feel the same way, because I've been on record saying the ACC is not pop. Yo, man, the ACC is it's a distant in a fight for third, fourth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big 10,
Big 12
SEC,
got some
whatever,
words.
however you want to do it, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12. You know what I mean? ACC is not up there, man. So I say the same thing every single time. So I see what they're looking at. And it's not me drinking Kool-Aid at all. It's just facts. The talent, the way the staff has recruited since they've gotten here.
Yep.
Compared to everybody in the league, now surpassing Clemson and Florida State. It's always been Clemson 1, Miami 2 or 3. Now it's Miami, son. And it's not even close. It hasn't been close for real.
No.
So can't tell. Nah, man. Nope. And Clemson don't even use the portal.
No, they don't. They go against it.
You know what I mean?
Our guy Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate the dono. Remember, guys, all donos go to supporting the show. You know what I'm saying? Growing the pod. We appreciate all of it, man. Gotta see if our air-headed coaching staff can produce wins.
But Muhammad, the positive is that they're together again for another year. So that's dope in itself. That's what makes it a little more gives me a little bit more confidence because the staff is together. You know, that cohesiveness is very important. So.
The cohesiveness and continuity of it is definitely important. Muhammad had another, you know what I'm saying? This was the beginning, then he donated. Appreciate the double comment. Got to see if our head of coaching staff has the competency to be great. You got to get there was few changes, like we just said, the continuity is important. Both our coordinators are still there. Overdose says, I'm not afraid of the ACC. I'm afraid of Mario coaching scared.
That's the question, right? That's
so all right. So let's tackle that for a second, right? Like, because that's expectation, right? Because of what happened last year. Because of the knee, the not knee, you know what I'm saying? The fumble that wasn't a fumble, that was a fumble, and then the 2 bites by our safety, again, or the 1 bite by our safety getting beat over the top. Look, in moments that can happen, right? Like you could have, you know what I'm saying, the third member jumping in real quick. Shout out to what's up, Poke? How you doing, brother?
Hi guys.
That mustache is glorious.
Look like a full-on state trooper.
Yes, sir.
You like National Lampoon's state trooper though, not
easy.
Sorry,
Wyoming.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, boys. How we doing?
North Dakota. Not much been talking about expectations. Currently, we're talking about coaching staff, about the coaching staff. I think yes, there was moments last year where the team kind of felt like it was being held back, right? It felt like we were playing for field goals, playing for certain possessions, but or the lack of tight ends and all these things. But when you take a step back and look at it, it was a young team. There was an O-line that just got put together. There's no excuses for the kneel and the bad losses, but you take away some of those turnovers in that game, and you see the challenges that young man is having at his next stop. We don't know what this team could have been last year. The lack of if we on some shit on some hypothetical shit if you play Emory, does that get you 2 more wins? Just playing conservative and not having those turnovers, right? They're ugly wins, but so were if you go back to 2017, a lot of those wins weren't great, fam. Like you had back-to-back killers at the Hard Rock. But son, I remember a 21-16 barely winning against Georgia Tech in a rainy, muddy game. Like ugly games are going to happen, and it's a challenge, man. But this year is do or die for me, though. Like keeping it in the sense of we need to see steps forward across the board in the coaching, in the play, you know what I'm saying, in the playmaking and all that shit. So that's my expectation. But how am I rating that though? Right? Am I saying you have to win all close games? You know, and I was thinking about this shit earlier, and I'm gonna leave it up and ask y'all. It has to be showing up and answering the bell when those lesser teams kind of punch us in the mouth or catch us off guard. Because too many times over the last 20 plus years, regardless of coaches, regardless of players, We gotten punched by like a no-name Clemson at the time that had one running back, and all of a sudden we forgot how to tackle. Like those are the moments that'll show me, all right, this team is taking steps. So how you feeling? Let's bring Poke in. How you feeling about it? How would you grade the expectations of a coaching staff?
Like
this coaching staff specific
for this upcoming season?
Yeah, like what would be your expectations for this coming season with the coaching staff? How would you grade it? Obviously, as of April, not knowing the full roster and all that other shit.
Right. I don't know. I would say around. I mean, if I'm basing it off the last two seasons, and it's hard to give it a grade because of how well the recruiting has been the last two seasons. So you kind of got to weigh that out too, as well as the outcome of what the seasons were prior. I would say around probably a C+ right now, verging on a B-, only because I want to see the corrections made with, and everybody knows, with Mario and game management. I want to see, the corrections and the steps that need to be taken to fix those issues that he's having. And I think a lot, not just on the head coach, but on the offensive coordinator side. I don't, and I had mentioned this before, maybe not on a show, but maybe in one of our chats, our text episodes. Episodes we've done.
Facts. Yeah.
But I think in some of it, of course, is going to fall on the coordinator, but I think a lot of it's also going to fall on the players. And I think, as much as we want to say, oh, well, TVD was held back because of the coordinator, or whoever the quarterback was held back because of the coordinator, when you can also attribute it to, well, is the coordinator being held back because of the talent that's on the field, or how they're able to make plays happen or be able to run the offense that he's wanting to run? So you kind of got to weigh those two things out as well. And like Mario mentioned in his interview with Josh Pate, players over plays. And I think that attributes to that. You have certain players on the field, but you can't call certain plays, can't run them because they don't know how to they don't know how to run the plays, or the talent level isn't there for them to recognize what plays need to be run or how to switch out of a play. So that, my expectations going forward is going to be like right around a C+, B- range for me, until I start seeing those improvements more so at game time situations, not necessarily off the field.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah.
Joey, what do you think, Joey?
It's hard, man. Yeah, that's a hard thing, man. Like the players versus the coaching thing is a healthy debate, right? That's always
chicken or the egg type shit,
right? Because you do have to have players that are dogs, right? You want them dogs. You want them dogs. But I feel like if it's something like the players are not able to grasp it mentally, or they're making mental errors, or they're more on the mental side, I feel like that's a coaching thing to me. Because as a coach, like Coach Hayes always says, and everybody says, as a coach, you're a teacher. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you send your kid to school in the beginning of the year and they're horrible at math, and at the end of the year they're still horrible at math, what the fuck is the teachers doing? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's both. Yes, the players, it's the players' job to put in extra time, right? But if they're not getting it, it has to be something like the coaches have to figure out how to get it, how to get them to get it. Like that's their job. They have to. There's no way. And so last year with our quarterback situation, I don't think it was a mental thing. He was just fucking up. Like it was just, I don't think it had anything to do with mental, I think he just wasn't recognizing. He just wasn't comfortable. Whatever, he broke over. Whatever the case, confidence. Whatever the case was, I don't think that was a coaching thing. I don't think that was a coaching thing.
The coaching thing would be keeping him in, though.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, we'll say, like, I talked to my guy Pedro. Pedro, what up, man? He's like, we go back and forth because he's like, what would you do? Like, who would you bring in? I'm like, son, you got to get somebody else ready. What do you have depth for? What do you have a backup for if you're not getting them ready? If he's not ready to play, like, you have to take him out, man. Like, he's out of there. Let's get. If Emery was gonna be the guy, then make him the guy. I don't care. Emery came in and won at Clemson. It wasn't, Emery, the game plan they had was specifically for Emery, and he did his job. At FSU, he had a chance to win that game too. He did his job. He had a rougher time, but he did his job. So, I don't know, man.
So let's break that down, right? So from those two, we're just touching on these moments as far as like the coaching aspect, right? We're not rehashing like, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda type shit. Of those two games, they called better games than they quote unquote with this same coaching staff, right? The criticism of them than they called in the other games. When in the other games you have the more experienced guy, and don't think you need it. And how could you call a worse game, right? Because in that older guy, you're supposed to have more trust. So how does 8 for 23 get you a win? You know what I'm saying? I think he still had one pick in that game, right? Because I think he threw it late over the middle in the Clemson game. Yeah. So how do you have that? And then a second game where you really don't throw the ball further than 10 yards because the JG3 touchdown was just a bad play by their secondary. That should have really terrible play. Thank you for being terrible at what you do. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, and we'll get into that in a minute. But so, like, how is it that those our best performances were our most held back, reined in performances when we're like, yo, go coach it up? Or was 17 interceptions or whatever ended up being in those games? Like, I don't know. Last year was such an anomaly for me because I don't know what the team is, like, realistically. And this year is going to be no identity. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, how do you, again, your best performances are when your quarterback plays technically the worst. QBR was terrible. Then, you know what I'm saying? That just kind of showed toughness and moxie and didn't do dumb shit.
And that's the thing. You just said it right there. Didn't do dumb shit. He didn't give the ball. The difference in Georgia Tech, NC State, is the ball was given
North Carolina,
yeah. But the ball was North Carolina was on the defense. I don't give a fuck. That shit was on the defense. Defense got smoked. Defense got
smoked because of the back-to-back turnovers, though. Like, you gave the ball back
and there's turnovers. That's only 2. So the rest of the game, they couldn't breathe. They couldn't. They got
that was it. That was the game.
Like,
that was the game. The pick and the fumble was the game.
Yeah, but those Georgia Tech and NC State, if we don't give the ball away, like, come on. So, like, there's no way we should have lost those games. No way. No. Absolutely
should never come down to a kneel.
Absolutely not. Georgia Tech coming into that game was awful. Like, they were awful, fam.
Yeah, that turned their season around.
Yeah, so there was no way. There was absolutely
they lost to like Ball State before us or some crazy shit.
So that's the point, right? When you have a quarterback that's just gonna do, we were obviously able to run the ball on anybody. At Clemson, didn't we hold the ball in the third quarter for like almost damn near the whole quarter?
Yeah, we had 15 play drives. Yeah.
Like, just running the ball. And if you have a quarterback that can just keep the ball and not put it in harm's way, you're always going to have a chance. So that was the downfall right there, brother.
So coaching expectations for us is we'll go with Polk's grade. I like that grade, C+, B-, because there are some changes. The continuity kind of makes me give it a B-.
Hold up. The coaching grades are different though. So if we say as a whole,
like as a class,
my grade for Guidry is much different than my expectations.
That's what D Nick. That's what gets it to the B. Like
okay,
the off like this is a class average because I'm grading all these months. Like they all wear the same. They all go to the same classroom, right? They all got the same tasks, right? You win the game. So the offensive side of the ball, there's more questions given. You know what I mean? Like the no identity thing still sticks with me. Like I don't know.
But that's the side of the ball. That's the side of the ball we need to be successful to win 10.
I think that the expectations are a lot higher on the offense this year.
It is
just because of Cam Ward.
Yeah,
exactly.
It definitely is. Yeah.
So my expectations for the offense, to give that a grade, I'm gonna say my expectations are an A+. It has to be. No, it has to be. It has.
We don't have a running back. So who's the running back?
We don't have a running back.
But that's my expectations. Now what's the reality? I have no clue. But my expectations is going to be an A+ because we have Cam Ward. It has to be. This has to be almost an all or nothing year because of who we brought.
No, it is. It is.
You got the free agent, kid, the number one free agent in college.
He was the number one free agent before we got him, and then when we got him, he was number 6. That's how those graphics work. Because somehow Julian,
that's the dumbest shit ever.
I don't understand
how that happens, right?
So Julian Stain was the number one quarter.
Huh? How do you even call him a transfer? How do you even call him a transfer?
Hasn't thrown a pass.
You
even play one game.
All right, so Mohammed's been going off. Let's address this before we move on from the coaching, right?
When doesn't he go off?
Yeah, Moby talking. I appreciate it. As long as he doesn't cuss, I always show the comments. Blaming a kid over a grown ass man, I think you say ass, is weak when the authority to do so he has to do so. He could have pulled any player if he wanted accountability. It's on Mario, the grown man. All right. Yes, right? He's oh, you want to handle it?
Hey, nah, go ahead.
No, look, yes, you're right. Because Mario's gonna take all the blame always because he's the $8 million man and he's where the buck stops and all this stuff. But he doesn't call the plays, but we have questions on whether he, you know what I'm saying, steps into the room more than he should. Right? Like, hey, look, let's slow this down a little bit. Which again, like our 2 best games when we slowed it down like a motherfucker, right? That's my first curse. Shout out to me.
It wasn't your first, but
it feels like it felt like it's like Samuel L. Jackson, like when he said a whole word, I apologize, especially to Poke's mustache. You shouldn't hear this kind of language.
No apologies necessary, sir.
Like when you look at it, I forgot what I was saying now. What was I saying? Completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, when you look basically at the grown man shit and accountability.
Yeah, the grown, like Mario's gonna take all the blame always, like no, regardless of what he does, and that's how it's supposed to be. But if you knocking him now, and this year we go 10-3, I'm gonna need you to have that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if he's failing at every turn for you, keep that same energy towards it. If we're 10-3 and we win every game we're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna have to do like the opponent breakdown soon. Like it's hopefully like probably after the transfer portal, because those teams will be making moves too, and really kind of see how they're doing it. Because saying 3 losses to me sounds crazy. If I'm keeping it a buck,
Muhammad, it's not. We're not blaming TBD. You know what I mean? We're not blaming. Listen, I'm a full advocate for the grown-ups in the room need to do their job. I say that shit all the time. You know what I mean? But as a quarterback, as the leader of the team and a quarterback, you have to make better decisions when you're on the field. You have
the players have to do their job too.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Like you have to be able to make better decisions on the field. That's not Shannon Dawson or Mario is not taking snaps and throwing picks, man. Like you have to make better decisions. Now, I agree that he should have been benched. I agree with that. Like I said that from the gate. Like the decision to not bench him and ride with him the whole season
and bring him back
at all. Don't agree with that at all. So yes, if you're saying that, yes, but TBD, the quarterback has to have some blame. Like where's the accountability for him? Is he, is he void of accountability? He doesn't get to have accountability. He's just free and clear in the whole process.
So like if a player misses a tackle, that's on Mario. If a player misses a pick, that's on Mario. Like if all these things happen during the play, how is that also going to be blamed on Mario? Like in those 3 to 8 seconds that he would have in that pocket and still turning the ball over, is that Mario built that O-line that gave him the 8 seconds, doesn't get credit for that, but somehow gets the blame for the interception? Like it can't be you know what I'm saying? Like it can't be situational give and take. It's like if the O-line that he built gave him 8 seconds, the best O-line we've had in who knows how long. I can't go back to, you know what I'm saying, y'all tell me when. It can't be give him 8 seconds, but then he throws it into coverage or throws it late. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be like the Florida State game. Throws it late over the middle to close out the game. The play earlier, right? A freshman broke his arm, or 2 plays earlier, the freshman broke his arm trying to get up and was driving down the field. Like that also, you know what I'm saying? The chance to win was put in that position by, if Mario gets it all.
Somebody wide open too on that.
Yeah, play. Wide open. What, and who was he forcing it to? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
and look at the current situation that young man is in. He might be forced to transfer again. Because he's gonna sit out. You know what I mean? So you gotta look at it. You gotta look at, and he went into a dope situation with a nice coach. You know what I mean?
What is the problem? Yeah.
Muhammad,
we're getting too far into the weeds of this.
We're not saying he shouldn't have been pulled. We're not saying that at all. He
100% should have been pulled.
That's one of the mistakes that I'm hoping gets improved upon this coming season.
Yeah. But we also don't expect to have that issue with the caliber of quarterback.
That's what we talked about too, and that's another thing. When you have a free agent now in this NIL era,
pay for play.
You pay somebody $1 million, are you pulling him? Like that's the thing, man. Are you pulling him?
If he struggles.
Oh, you got to ride with it. That's why I don't like that shit. Because if somebody's getting 1.5, you're not pulling him. You're not putting him on the bench no matter what.
Facts.
No matter what. And that's a whole nother top. That's a whole nother conversation.
But that leads to like how that 1.5 person acts, right? Like if that person acts like, yo, I'm 1.5, so I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all talking to. Like I'm entrenched. It's a wrap. Like that's not the way that, you know what I'm saying? That's not the way Cam acts. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like
I'm saying strictly play wise. If Cam
no, you have to
stinks this shit up. He stinks it up for 3 games in a row. You're not pull. Are you able to pull him?
Right. That's not always the easiest decision because you know what he is and what he can do. Listen, I run into that all the time. I coach high school baseball. I'm a pitching coach. I got guys out there on the mound that are struggling, but I know what they can do. And it's always that, okay, one more batter. I know he's going to turn it around, leave him in there. Boom.
3-run home run.
3-run home run or something. You're like, well, I should have pulled him. But it's not always the easiest decision because you know the potential and you know what the player's capable of, which is what you're banking on. So I get it.
It's hard. Yeah.
This fan sitting here,
us as fans always play the end result. Yeah, and we're always playing the end result, right? We're always playing once that pass goes out of a quarterback's hand, you don't know what's about to be picked off as a fan. You don't know that's going into coverage. It's just this year.
But it's team over everything. It's team over everything. Exactly. What's best for the team comes first. I don't care. You know what I mean? So you gotta do that shit. So.
Yeah, this year with Cam. Now, look, talk about spring games real quick. There was a bunch of spring games over the weekend.
Saturday was
Duke,
and we'll just do ACC. It was Wake, North Carolina, them cats up there.
Tyler Trashy,
Syracuse, Duke. was this weekend in the ACC.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch any of them?
I watched the highlights of practice. I watched a little bit of the Manny. I watched Duke.
Okay.
I watched Duke. I
How
turned
did
it off
Malik Murphy
immediately.
look? I'm curious. How did
not good.
really?
Not good. Okay. From what I saw, like when I turned it on, for some reason the clip started with like the commentator saying, "Yeah, that was bad." It was like that was a bad interception, and then next thing I saw, they were going to 7-on-7. So I was like, that can't be good. Like I was like, just bouncing off that, I was like, that can't be a good thing if we're going to that. Yeah. Look, young man has a strong arm. We knew that. Yeah, young man has a strong arm. We knew that. As far as the defense, it's spring game. So I take the spring game performances with a grain of salt, even our own. Like, yeah, it was cool that, I'm saying, the stats are the stats, but they're not tackling, they're not scheming up, they're not doing anything crazy. That's why after the game, we're like, yo, who looked good as far as like nobody got hurt? You know what I'm saying? Who had good bend around their O-line, but nobody was stunting, shit like that. Yeah. Now, if you go, I had interest in the Manny one, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know how I feel. Y'all could listen to the 130 episodes where I say how I feel about that. But I saw that. I was like, all right, they're not going to do nothing on defense. But Malik Murphy, I'll say this, he looks in shape. You can't grade him off too much. Kid looks in shape. But if their first play, because I think the clip was like at 14-15 of the first quarter, and he had just thrown a pick, and the next thing they're doing is 7-on-7. I was like, okay, they're just practicing. Didn't watch any. I watched a little bit of the Syracuse. They got a big running back, Common Cord, not that strong of an arm, but accurate. As far as his ball placement and shit like that. Experience coming from the Big Ten. That's gonna be a tough game. That's gonna be a tough game at the end of the year, because it's a Friday after Thanksgiving. It's always a sleepy kind of weird game. Not happy about that shit at all. Did y'all get a chance to see any of them?
No.
Yeah, fam, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man.
It's practice.
Yeah, unless during the season I watch all football. I watch every game I can watch, but now I don't give a shit about anybody else, keeping it a buck. I was tempted to watch Florida State, but I was like, I don't want to see that shit.
I saw the clips. I saw the clips that went viral all over, and that's
all I watched too.
Now, my question to y'all, right? My question to y'all about the Florida State thing, right? Like, if a game is scripted, right? Like everybody hyping up.
Names. Can we say them?
Them dudes, them
cats up north or something. I don't know.
Them cats up north. Well, they would be south for you. Them cat, like you're scripting
cats in the country. Or something.
It's a practice. It's a practice, right? You're scripting every play in this game, right? Sure. Like, look, we did the walk. Like we did the walk. You know what I'm saying? We watched the walkthrough. They script the whole game is scripted. Mm-hmm. Right, like they're every one play one to whatever the fuck. So if you're a quarterback that's been in college football for 6 years, so he's gone through 6 springs, right? No, they can't tackle you, and you complete less than 50% of your passes. They can't touch you, and you
designed for the offense to succeed.
Yeah, it's supposed to, what the spring game is. Let's keep it all the way a buck. It's meant to sell tickets.
Yes.
It's meant to sell tickets to get the crowd. It's a fan experience to get fans excited. Be like, holy shit, we're going to be good this year. Not knowing that.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is. Let's start.
That's how I felt after being in my hair. I felt that way.
Yeah, but that was the experience that we had. That wasn't the games. That was the totality of the experience that happened.
That was everything, though.
You know what I'm saying? That was the large picture, Joe. Like, that was with the walkthrough, getting to meet, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was not, the game was the game. But if your 6-year guy completes less than 60% of his passes, and you're 24/7 media, right? That Taylor Trashy, you know what I'm saying? That media company that is up there that does their 24/7 thing that covers for them is literally saying, yo, DJ, he's got too strong of an arm. That's what the issue is. Or it's just
hit the spin cycle on that washing machine.
Like the thing is,
good
like,
Lord,
you don't like let podcasts that cover that shitty team tell the lies, right? Let them do that. You can't be the paid for company being like, "Yo, but just needs one more fam." He's been there since January.
He throws.
Like they should know how he throws. You can't look that bad, bro.
Get better receivers then. I don't know. If he throws too hard.
One of their receivers as a good blocker. Like, so he's Cam McCormick. He's a sophomore in Hakeem Williams. You're not supposed to look like that, bro. You're not supposed to look like that.
So I'm gonna defend DJU for a second, man.
Okay.
Because I like DJU. I like DJU, man. I'm gonna defend him.
Okay.
What was the title of the show? Something about being overrated, right?
Yeah. Case against expectations. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You said he's been there since January, which is true.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time. You know what I mean? To learn.
You know who's had less time?
It doesn't matter. This is a different offense. He's been in this he's played the same air raid kind of offense. Cam has been in this offense. Norvell's offense is a little more dynamic than what we had. Keeping it a buck. Like, I know we don't care for them, but Mike Norvell's offense is very good.
He can coach him.
He's a very good offensive coach.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, he's a very good
I think he's lame as fuck, but yeah, he's 100%.
Yeah, he's a very good offensive mind. You know what I mean? So you got to learn that. That's not, I don't think that's easy to learn.
But it's watered down.
It may be watered down. Who knows? It may not be. I don't know how they do shit. But
6
fuck it. Whatever. They trash. I don't care. Whatever.
He tried to make that through all the way, but this is like 48% completion. 40.
But we can't say take spring game with a grain of salt one way and not the other way.
No, I know.
No,
it was bad.
No, what I'm saying is the spring game is scripted to make your offense look good.
Correct. But he didn't.
Your defense,
and we can't look at it no other way than that. He just didn't. It just didn't look good. That don't mean they're gonna be shitty. It don't mean that.
Yeah, they still have to go through their snaps, and we don't get them till like November, and I get that. But the sample size that we have now off of scripted, like Cam's supposed to look good. They're not stunting. They're not playing any schemes. They're not doing shit on the defensive side. Cam's supposed to look good. Arch Manning looked great. Looked great. Yeah. Schemed up like a motherfucker.
Now he's the number one guy again. Now everybody on his nuts.
That's it. He's fucking phenomenal. Like, no, son, like that's what it's supposed to be. Like that's what they did with Arch Manning is what spring is supposed to be. Because now Texas is hyped as shit. Now they got a quarterback controversy, forgetting that Quinn Ewers is a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Like off one spring game, off of practice is what we talk about.
Off of one spring game.
It's crazy.
Quinn Ewers is now QB2 for Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get to some of these comments because Muhammad and QB still been talking. Let me see. QB's noise. I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just saying like they still been going at the whole thing with the Mario's excuses. Yeah, QB, so excuses keep coming. Although there will be more excuses for Mario next season as a Canes family. I really hope we have a great season. All I'm saying is, Mo, your expectations is grading them off the last 2 years. If they have a good year this year, I want you to turn that energy around. Like, and it's not I'm not challenging you anyway. You got to feel however you want to feel about it. But if your criticism off the last 2 years and he corrects some of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to grade him out for that too. Because you're acting like we let go of a great guy before. This team was like on the cusp and it just needed Mark. Like, no, son, like it's not what it is. Do you remember who we had? Yachts over recruiting. Like, let's also take that into account.
Other side of it, if it's another letdown year, he's gonna get the smoke.
Oh,
he's gonna get the smoke. Like, this is it. Like, he's gonna get the smoke. If we go out and win 7-8, he's gonna get the smoke.
That look bad. I think what happens is a lot of the people, you know what I'm saying, shout out to us growing constantly, getting a bunch of new subscribers. They don't know how we react on those Sundays after a bad game. Son, like it is, and this year we're gonna be live with it. We don't hide. We be like, I wait about 7 to 10 minutes before I start cussing. But if there's some bad performances, I'm gonna let them have it we don't do any apologists. We don't do that. We go off if they look like shit. We fans, son. I don't give a fuck if we know people or we don't. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If you look like shit, you look like shit. If you cost us another game not kneeling, I'm gonna go the fuck off. Like I don't hide from nothing or nobody. I'm out. Our location is on, son. Like we don't hide from shit. We don't hide from nothing.
No, yeah, it's gonna be that. Like, but the expectation, like, you can tell for people who say nothing has improved or nothing, that's bullshit. You know that, son. Stop playing. Like, things have improved. Things have improved. Things are moving on an upward trajectory. Stop playing. They are.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get to this Caneswear ad. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Yo. Shout out to Caneswear, man.
Shout out Caneswear.
Listen, they got the only has to fit your boy, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Make sure you get your Caneswear always, man. That's the spot, man. They'll send you your stuff right away. That's a family. Into the Caneswear was popping. Yeah, man. How y'all feel about that graphic coming out from 24/7 saying that as of right now, April 21st, I think it came out yesterday, April 20th, that we're picked to be 11th, to be facing Oregon possibly in the playoffs. Like that's the expectation shit I'll be talking
all the way there.
Yeah, man. That's the graphic I sent.
11th out of 12 teams.
Yeah. So that means we don't even win the ACC, right? That just means every SEC team gets the first, you know what I'm saying? Like gets the first SEC and Big Ten team gets the first like 8 or 9 spots. I think Liberty was 12th, by the way, in that ranking. How you feel? How you feel about that, Pope? 11th to be.
I think it's fair. I mean, what else? Are they basing it off the last 2 years?
Spring.
If they're basing they're basing it off the spring game. Yeah, I think 11's fair. I mean, there's still a lot of question marks that need to be answered.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for the most part, I can definitely see us as, and this is probably me just being a fanboy, but you know, I can see us making the playoffs. But I think at 11, I don't think it's. I mean, you're in at that point, so it really doesn't matter where.
This is an easy question. Kirby Smart and Jim Harbaugh. There you go. 2 coaches besides Saban. Yeah, so the 9-8 seed would have been Michigan versus Notre Dame, LSU at Ole Miss. They have Ole Miss at 7. That's 2 SEC teams. Oregon versus Miami, and Liberty University versus Texas. Texas would be the 5 seed. So it's basically all SEC in the top 6 to 8. I don't know. Maybe they have Ohio State in the top.
The conference champions all have buys. Right, it looks like first round.
Yeah, so they don't have Miami. So I guess according to that, they will Miami not winning the ACC next year.
Yeah, it's fair because I feel like three losses gets you in a play. They couple of 3-loss teams to be in the playoffs.
What other ACC teams?
I don't think ACC
they have Florida State in there.
The playoffs. They didn't have the top 4 seeds. They just had 5 through 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a weird.
I guess the assumption is that either Clemson or Florida State or something. But I think 2-3 losses gets you in. You know what I mean? So because I think there'll be several
ACC team.
Yeah, I mean, if I say a 3-loss ACC team who wins the ACC, you know what I mean, will be in. And I feel like there'll be plenty of teams with 2 or 3 losses. Plenty of teams with those. So you got to sort that out. But just depends on the losses. You already know that, Got to have – there's no good losses, but, you lose to – I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
You gotta. Can you name look thinking about this? I can't name
right. Those 3. I can't even. Who? Florida State. Florida State.
Virginia Tech on a Friday seems weird to me because Virginia Tech's on a Friday night. That might be a weird one because you know what I'm saying the crowd it's at home.
That's in Blacksburg.
No, it's in Miami.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Yeah. I'll be out there, man. I'll be out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We keep it a buck. We'll be out there. Joe,
Mo, we're going to catch you, son. We out there, baby.
We out there, man. We're going to be out there, man. Yeah.
Yep, we out there.
VT at Miami. Yeah. I think it's fair, but I also kind of have them winning the ACC. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Again, depends on the running back situation because I don't know what Fletcher is going to look like. We'll find out this week and the next week we'll find out if maybe, you know what I'm saying? And next weekend is when Damian Martinez visits. He's in Mississippi State right now.
With Sam Brown, I think, is coming to
Sam Brown Jr. Yes, sir.
And then if they get the other dude to come
the CB from Marshall too, Hill. I was listening to Lock Jeans. Ronnie Hill, 6'1", light kid though, 6'1", 175. But you know what I'm saying? It's what's up. Yeah, next
I've
week.
Been in Charlotte. This is my 10th year in Charlotte, and Miami hasn't been here yet. No, they were. They were here in 2017.
17, yeah. At the breaks beat off them.
Got our ass beat, yeah. But I was there. Yeah. I was in the building. Yeah, but they need to be here because I'm tired of seeing fucking Pitt fans and all these other motherfuckers in the streets just roaming around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
QB does ask a good question. Shout out to our guy QB. RB1, right? RB1 would be Damian Martinez, right? Like with a running back when we win the ACC. But what happens if we have no RB1? And I mean, you scheme around it and hope you could pull some stuff out with Cam Ward.
They're gonna get an RB, regardless. Yeah. If it's not Damian Martinez, most likely to be probably Penny Boone. You know what I mean? They're gonna get an RB1.
They have to
until Fletch comes back, or if
Jordan Lyle takes a step. Yeah.
It's gonna be an RB QB, definitely.
Martinez is a Kane. He said Ralph Lopez. I'm assuming that's Ralph Lopez. Does need 2 RB1s for session depth.
And remember, we still have a whole bunch of teams that have a spring game this weekend coming up.
Fam, there's spring games. I was looking at Wisconsin's spring game when it is. First of all, it's not open to the public because they're doing construction at their stadium or some shit. That's in May. So the next 2 weeks, there's still spring games. Yeah. Nobody won any was maybe an
Friday. Arizona State spring game is this Friday, and Arizona State has somebody I would like to see. Okay. Then Saturday you got
Arizona, son. You talking about Arizona?
Am I talking about? Okay. So
Arizona State has a lot Badger that's already in the portal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, Arizona hasn't had a spring game yet.
There's a certain QB from Arizona State too. Just saying.
Oh, he's going to don't start that argument in here. He's going to it looks like he's going to Georgia.
Yeah, they trying to. I don't even see Arizona as having a spring game. Like they're not even on the schedule I'm looking at.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Territorial.
Doodle.
You already know.
Now the receivers
that are jump in the portal. Listen, man, I'll donate what I have. You know what I mean? I'll throw a couple.
Financially irresponsible.
I throw a couple something in there, B. You know what I mean?
You think
he's popping for Territorial, son.
You think he's like with the guys that are in right now, though, with Badger and Brown? You think he's levels above?
He's the one. Elite. He's the only elite to me.
Yeah, that is.
The rest of them are solid. Like Sam Brown will be a good addition, definitely a good addition. But Territorial comes in and takes a spot immediately.
Yeah,
and that's what I care. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? If you bringing somebody in, he got to take a spot immediately. Like, it's not just bringing him in to battle or some shit. Nah, he got to take a spot.
Yeah, because we know because if we going off last year, what are the chances we rotate? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of getting another receiver
this year?
Oh, I think there'll be rotation this year. So
yeah, they gotta be.
They fucking better. I'll be.
They gotta be.
Son, how you rotate running back but never rotate receiver? They don't get tired of running long ass routes. Like, you just never rotate them
and not get the ball.
Run. That's not get. They gotta run 17. You know what I'm saying? They gotta run
Martinez comes in and starts immediately.
Yes. Immediately.
If obviously, but yeah. So let's real quick. We almost had an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Transfer portal. The people who are in now. Who do you need to get? Like, who do you want on this team now?
Martinez.
Now, like, who do you want now?
Yeah, Martinez.
That's it. Of the people who are in the portal now.
Martinez,
Zandamela, that offensive
lineman from USC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely a want. Definitely a want.
Yeah, him, because then you could chill him out. He's the only one that I'm okay with not being the take a spot guy.
Because he can play center too.
Yeah, and I'm tired of transfer portal center. I want cohesion. I want cohesion in that group, man. I want next year to be the same five, but the next 3 or 4 guys threatening. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. I'm tired of the fucking
And
I
like the safety from Texas A&M, man. I like Jalen Matthews. Is that his name?
They talking? Jacoby
Matthews,
yeah. I mean, unless stuff is picked up. Last I heard, we weren't really looking at him, but
yeah, I think there's some silent going on. You know what I mean? I think
because the bat signal is always quiet.
Yeah, I mean, we still got another week to go too with the portal, so you never know who else is going to pop.
Yeah,
you come up. Definitely, we've said it almost every show. Safety and cornerback help we need. And
I think. What about the D tackle for Michigan State?
Yeah, that's yes.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow's a business day. I think we're gonna see mad graphics tomorrow. And Tuesday, I think we're gonna see a lot of graphics.
I'm also very confused at where our scholarship ranking is, because I thought we were good last week, but Donald says that we're still 1 over, even with the Caleb Spencer. Shout out to Caleb Spencer. My bad. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Caleb Spencer, man. Wish you all the best, young man. I'm saying find your path, because you were falling behind here, and we get it. I'm saying you gotta get some things popping. Muhammad, who do you mean, edge or jack? Do you mean like as far as jack or defensive end? Because those are 2 different positions and 2 different skill sets. On that side, you need D tackles. You don't know who's gonna pop in this week. I think there's gonna be some late guys that be like that are just watching the market that could come in and bust it up. Because remember the guy from A&M, the D tackle that came in late and then got the bag from Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you can do SEC to SEC transfer, so and he came in late.
Now you can't. Texas A&M in the SEC just had Mississippi State. They just had a spring game. Yeah, kid. There's some SEC teams. South Carolina. There's some cats that may hit it.
Yep. And you see true freshmen are bouncing now. You know what I mean? Like saw the young man from Clemson bounce over to Minnesota.
South Carolina has some true freshmen that I wouldn't mind seeing a graphic from.
Oh, the jack position, right? Yeah. They just jumped in there, but he's the whole
for the
bag,
whatever position. For the whatever position.
whatever he wants to do. Son. You want to play linebacker? You want to play safety, son? Yeah. Whatever.
That guy.
Elijah Austin transferred from Marshall. He's a redshirt senior. He's gonna likely be our starting jack in that spot, because you have the jack that is a stand-up, which is like a Jaden Wayne, Marquise Lightfoot. You know what I'm saying? A slender, more space. You know what I'm saying? Like coverage type of guy. And then you the speed like the Jason Taylor. If you know what I'm saying, if you were a Dolphins fan, kind of that position, the slimmer guy. Then you have the monsters on the other side, which would be Bain, Mesidor, Cole McConaughey. I put in there. But yeah, man. What Joe? Did you answer? Besides territorial, you don't like if territorial doesn't jump. Would you then feel like you're settling for a Badger or a Sam Brown? Would they just be a guy?
I just don't think they come in and just take a spot. You know what I mean? Like I know JG is on thin ice or whatever, but I don't think they're better or miles ahead of they're just taking JG or Isaiah Horton's spot. I don't feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like territorial is coming in, and I'm sorry, somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta move around a little bit, you know. But
yeah,
one of those two. And listen, they got production. Like Sam Brown is nice. They're nice. Sam Brown is nice. The other cat is nice, and they've done it. They produced, but so have JG. JG has produced. I don't care, you know, whatever you want to say. He's put up numbers. He's got business. So, you know.
Poke, what about you, man? Who you thinking? Who you want in the portal that's in there as of right now, April 21st, 2024?
Martinez and Zandamela. That's my two big ones right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wide receiver. That's I'm on the same page as Joe when it comes to receiver. We need a dude that can come in and take a spot. So
yeah, not just a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Not just, you know, the guys that are in there now are nice and they're good, but you know.
So it would be right now the guys that are in the portal would kind of be similar, nice and they're good, but none of them are that dude. To me,
right? Yeah, facts.
All right, we'll handle this question before we get up out of here. Statement. One thing that bothers me is that the coaches, the team conservatively, and wherever we have a chance to go up big, we don't, and that allows us to come back and beat us. That's been the last 20 years. Forgive me, like not much has changed in the last two. That hasn't been different for the last 20. We've had some terrible losses because of shit like that. Like it's just what it is.
And we were so gassed after Texas A&M, man. We thought,
that
it was.
We thought we turned that corner. We thought we turned that corner, son. If you go back and watch that shit, like we were talking playoffs, Joe. Yeah. We were talking playoffs.
That was the identity game. I think
we were in the building. That shit was electric in that building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Joe walking around in his Crocs, giving everybody high fives, 3 rows back.
That shit was electric, B. It's electric.
Yeah, that game was like, oh, well, I'm ready to tell lies, and then Georgia Tech like off a cliff, or Rutgers, and then off a cliff. No, not Rutgers. Who was it that we played in Philly? Who was it that we played in Philly? Temple. Same colors. Who cares? All right, guys, we up out of here, man. As always, youheardpodcast.com, man. Go check it out. Get your merch. You know what I'm saying? We up out of here, man. For Joe, Poke, I'm your boy Benny Boondocks, man. We up out of here, man. CB, where you at, man? We'll catch you next week, man. See y'all Wednesday. Peace.